I'm back. Dude, you gotta see the sweet tan I've got now.
We left Joe Base's in Floyd, Virginia, and stopped at Due South for some barbecue. We got to our friend Greg Galbreath's in Eggleston, Virginia. It's the home of Buckeye Banjos, and he stepped us through his process of building a banjo from the ground up.
I guess we're in Eggleston. I really don't know much about it. This is the first time I've been here, but we're at Buckeye Banjos, getting ready to walk into this 2-story banjo lab. I've seen a lot of his banjos around over the years, played a few of them. Played one last night a bunch.
Okay, so this is my kind of main banjo. It's a 12-inch walnut, the skin head, and a rolled brass tone ring for all the banjo nerds. And so this is probably more on the mellow side of the spectrum. The walnut's going to be a softer wood and mellower, and it's got a bigger, deeper rim, so it's going to be kind of a good bass end to it. I did a short apprenticeship, well, about a year-long apprenticeship with Mac Trainham over in Floyd, who at the time I was taking banjo lessons from, and then he was also this great source of, he would never take money for his lessons, but you would go and you'd have to work on his farm. And so, and a lot of times you wouldn't even get to the lesson. Like you'd go out there and you'd cut wood for like, 6 hours, and then I'd be like, okay, let's have time for the lesson, and he'd be like, oh, I gotta go pick up my daughter, or no, we can't do a lesson today, and I'm like, oh. But it was still like just hanging out with him. He's like this, real historian of the music, and so the whole time we'd be listening to music, and he'd be talking about the history and the musicians, and so that was a great.
You were getting a lesson you didn't even realize.
Yeah, it was a really good lesson in everything about the music. So I'll start off. Just with like big, giant, just.
Oh wow!
Like
just a piece of wood.
Yeah, I mean it's really this, and the guy I get them from has his own sawmill, so.
Okay.
Yeah, when I go there, there's a pile of trees there,
so is this,
and then he.
This isn't one neck.
That would probably be 2. You can kind of sandwich them together and get 2 necks out of that. But yeah, I mean I start from about as rough as you can get.
Yeah, really. So what is this piece of wood?
That's a black walnut, which I do probably about half and half, black walnut and curly maple.
Yeah.
So like there's a nice piece of curly maple. You can see the nice figure in that.
So these probably come out as 2 really different looking instruments.
Yeah, and really different sounding too. Like this you can just feel how much heavier and harder that is.
Oh yeah.
And so that will be a lot brighter instrument, and the walnut being a little softer will be a little mellower.
And so how about with the ring? What does it start as? Or with the pot? How do you start the pot?
It basically starts as that chunk too, but then I'll cut it into, they'll go into strips first. Basically I could then make 3 of these, bend 3 of these up for each rim. So they're 3-ply rims. And then they'll be glued together and then turned back down on a lathe. You can buy a rim blank for pretty cheap, but philosophically, I just like the idea of doing as much of it as I can. And this way I can control, so I can, like I know those pieces of wood all came out of the same tree, and I can cut the rim out of that piece of wood that the neck came out of, which I think acoustically has got to be better.
Yeah.
That piece of wood is all reacting
to
the sound the same way. I'm thinking. This is for my wife, Cindy. Awesome. So we didn't have, like my banjo is kind of plain, my main banjo, so I wanted kind of more of a show banjo. So last year I told her she could order whatever she wanted basically.
I don't know the first thing about inlay. How do you make a picture on a banjo like that?
Well, it starts with a design. I'll usually, like if we're doing the corn, I'll usually get a bunch of images of corn and modify them, combine them into a nice design that I like. Yeah, we kind of went with some of her favorite vegetables and ones that would work as good inlays. These are abalone. This is a gold mother of pearl.
So these are actually just shells?
Yeah, these are all shells. So here's what the abalone would have originally looked like. And then I'll take the design and then I'll cut out the piece I want, and then I'll put them, glue them onto the shell, and then cut them out with it's called a little jeweler saw.
Yeah. Wow.
All done under magnification.
Oh, wow, yeah. This is one you're working on now.
He's I guess a kind of an antique card collector.
Playing card.
Playing card, yeah, like there's the original card that he sent me, and then we kind of turned it into inlay design.
Awesome.
I think there was 40 or 50 teeny little pieces that all had to be fit together.
I've never seen anything like that.
I've never done any like that
Yeah, right.
either. This one has actually been probably one of the banjos I've had to learn the most on. And that's the cool thing about, I'm just doing custom banjos right now. So the customers ask me to do a lot of things I would probably never do. So like I would have probably never come up with that on my own. And so it's great because it really pushes me creatively.